How to manage a tinnitus spike. When you get tinnitus at the beginning, it's quite common sometimes to have a tinnitus spike where your tinnitus flares up, but then it comes down again. When it flares up, this can be very, very distressing, and we can freak out, and our mind can start catastrophizing. And before we know it, it's like we're in the middle of a gigantic thunderstorm, a big dark sky, and we can't imagine that the sun's going to come out and start shining again. Everything just seems very dark and fearful, and we can be stewing in adrenaline and all sorts of really strong thoughts. And when we're in that state, it can be very hard to focus. We can almost be too distressed to focus. So the first thing is to recognize that you are having a tinnitus spike. And the very word spike is up and then down. I really want to just acknowledge that 99% of cases you go up, but then you come down again. It may not go away again, but the tinnitus comes down to a more manageable level. So when you're going into a spike, just to remember it will back off, it will come back down again. The thunderstorm will clear and the sun can start shining again. When you're in it, it can be quite hard to believe this, but it does. In that state, when you're in a spike, I really recommend strong interventions. The worst thing we can do is stay stuck, stewing in stress. Lots of stuff in that sentence. So a very simple one is to get a bowl of hot water and a bowl of cold water and immerse your feet in the hot water, not too hot, otherwise you'll burn yourself, but when you put your feet in the hot water, you're really going to feel that, and your nervous system is going to literally shift the attention into your feet, and stimulating the feet can act like a tonic for the whole central nervous system. You take your feet out of the hot water and then put into a bowl of cold water. It's quite it's a very strong experience. Once again, it's going to really grab your attention into the cold water. And then just keep putting your feet backwards and forwards into the bowl of hot water and cold water over the course of 5 minutes or so. And gradually the water will start to equalize in temperature anyway. But what this does is it takes you directly out of your head, and it can really calm the nervous system down almost immediately as a sort of grounding, calming experience. Another one to do, which can be very helpful, is just very, very slow movement. So watch the video I've done on slow movement, where you're making a cup of tea, or you're doing something about the house, but incredibly slowly. Your head at first will be twittering away and maybe full of, oh my God, what if this never goes? And all the dark, negative, catastrophizing stuff that goes on in the theatre of the head. If you do slow movement, it will bring your attention out of your head and into the body. And I recommend watching that video and practicing it a few times so that if you have a tinnitus spike, you know what to do. Slow movement can be incredibly good for settling the system down. The challenge is not to stay stuck up here in your thoughts. So if you're just going to be practicing incredibly slow movement over the course of maybe 10 minutes, that's quite a long time, but just keep going with it. You're going to start to gradually change the chemistry of your nervous system, and the mind and the body are going to really be involved in doing exactly the same thing. The body is your best ally here, and doing incredibly slow movement will help you settle back into the body and drop your attention out of your head back into your body. Some other simple things. If you get using the body as something to help you, if you do vigorous rubbing all over the body, so on the upper side and the lower side of your arms, the chest, the stomach, all the way down the legs, or you can do patting, kind of bashing it with your fists like this, not too hard, but just strongly enough so that you just feel it. What you'll notice is that you get a sense of tingly kind of energy passing through the body. And just basically bash or rub every part of the body. And if you do this for a good 5 to 10 minutes, you will automatically start relaxing and feeling your body freeing up. I've done that now, and I've got quite a fizzy, calm feeling in my wrists and arms. And the other thing which is very useful is shaking. Just shaking your legs, your feet, and your shoulders. Just having a good shake, a good wobble, all the time, just using the body to really bring the attention back down out of your head. And I'm going to leave you with the thought that every time you survive a tinnitus spike, you know that you can survive it, and you know that they come, they pass through, and then they go again. The more you do that, the more you can just step back and take a long-term view and know that these things are temporary and they do eventually go. So over a period of time, if you're looking after yourself, you can expect these tinnitus spikes gradually to come down more and more until they're just little tips poking up out of well-being. They do get better. If you look after yourself, if you get craniosacral therapy, if you work on yourself, you can expect the whole process gradually to get better.